I don't know what I'll do, but I'm going to spoil myself today. What's up, guys? So today was one of those days in which I was mentally drained to where I just felt not in the mood to do anything. So I've pretty much been lying in bed just browsing stuff, reading stuff like on Twitter, catching up on the trends, and I even watched the battle between Gohan and Cell in Dragon Ball Z, and holy crap, that art looks terrible compared to what we have now in Dragon Ball Super. But anyway, I got to thinking about what my values in life are. And you guys know that I don't call myself a religious person. Um, like I made on that one video about the pregnant girl. Despite that, it's like, I don't know if I've said this before, but it's just that none of the currently established religions really satisfy my beliefs to the fullest. I want to say that Buddhism is probably the thing closest to something that I could identify with. But beyond that, I just hate the idea of having to settle for a title that already exists. Like, why can I not have my own individuality? Why do I have to belong to a group that's already established? How about if I create my own, you know? And anyways, I just want to pretty much make a quick note of what I consider my values in life to be. Very briefly, these are not all of them. Prior to beginning to film this, I just spaced out for a bit and I said I need to put the thoughts that I just had on tape. Well, not on tape, but you guys get it. So here it is. One of the things that I really value in life is the act of generosity and being considerate. Like something about being kind and also being treated kindly. It gives me this joyful feeling and such a feeling of fulfillment. I can't even begin to describe it. Generosity, because I love it when people can just give and not really expect anything in return. Like it comes from the heart because they love you or something. And another one is that's something that I myself do. Like I have actually made myself broke a few times just because I was helping someone out. And I knew that they couldn't really repay me in any way. But the sole fact that I was just giving made me feel good. It's probably something bad to do currently because it's not an act that I can sustain constantly. But at least it's like if I were to get in an accident or have something life-changing happen to me, or if I were to perish, I would feel very fulfilled. I would feel very like happy. Like I was happy. I did something good today for one or more people, and yeah. And doing that just makes myself feel better and complete. It almost sounds like anytime I express myself in the channel, I make it sound like I'm very dependent on other people. Yes and no, because if you were to know me, I'm not that social really. Like, I can do very well on one-on-ones, but in groups, I suck at it. I suck at being in public and being expected to like acknowledge every soul that crosses my path. It's just not in me. Like when I'm at the gym, I deliberately have tunnel vision. I don't look at anybody. I have like a good sense of where everybody is at, but I don't know what their faces look like. The reason is simple really. I feel like if I were to see a lot of people, I would spend a lot of time processing them, and that would drive me insane. And they may also find their ways into my dreams. Because I feel like every person who I've seen in my life, I've had come back in a dream. So, and then on the note of being considerate, it's just nice that you're thinking ahead and trying to accommodate for someone's needs. It says a lot about you. Another value that I have in life is deep affection for people and not things. I use things, but I don't use people. And I love people and not really love things. You know what I mean? When I spaced out, I was like, everything that I once considered important that I don't have anymore, I discovered that I could either replace it or forget about it and realize that it really wasn't that big of a deal in my life. It wasn't really helping me progress, or it didn't really enhance my life in any way, you know? Another value that I have in life is when you are able to dedicate passionately to something that you genuinely care about. Another way I could phrase this is making the most out of your talents. I know so many people who daily pretty much waste away performing jobs that at the end of the day, if they ask themselves, do I feel satisfied with what I did today, say for 8 hours a day, they would say no. I am one of those people sometimes, and it's because I'm not quite sure exactly what my talents are, but I do know that anytime a challenge comes across me, I'm up for it and I can surpass it. Now, I just wish I knew what physically my talents are. It's not music, because I can't sing and I cannot really play the piano like any way that I want to. It's not art, because it comes and goes and it mostly never stays for more than a few days. And it's usually stuff that you can either trace, or it doesn't really have a definite shape. It's just like doodling, but you make your doodling look nice. Since I didn't pursue a higher education, I really didn't give myself an opportunity to uncover what my true abilities in the sciences are. But I do feel like they too are limited because I'm not very good with numbers. So the two things that I'm super passionate about, which are geology and meteorology, those get really messy and complicated. And I absolutely do not possess the abilities to really do anything with that for a living. But then again, like I said, I haven't undergone the education or training for that, so I shouldn't be rough on myself. But I feel like even if I were to go for that route, it wouldn't make me feel happy, because I just, numbers is something that I should do, but not constantly. And then it's like my talents are undefined. Maybe they are defined, but I just can't think of a way to put them into words now. It's stuff that it happens spontaneously, and I don't even realize that what I have done at that moment in time was a talent. Also, being thanked, being appreciated, and also appreciating people and things. People, because people make other people's lives so much easier. Like for me, when I was in school, my favorite example of this was my bus driver. Imagine that there weren't any bus drivers. They made my mom's life so much easier, because she could still be at work and pick up long shifts, and I could make it to and from home without any issues. Another thing is people who cook, people who work with food. Imagine if we depended upon fixing our own meals every day. Some of us just don't have that time sometimes. So that would mean that you really wouldn't eat. On the other hand, I feel like just because as a species we could wipe out every other species with our inventions, we would end up dying because we don't know how to maintain an ecosystem to support our own existence. Everything is interconnected, a fine balance for all of us to survive. We think we're superior just because we have dominated some skills and gave ourselves some commodities like airplanes and automobiles, refrigerators. But even with all that, we didn't become immortal. We will still die, we will still perish. We've created unnecessary things that cause for us to be worried and stressed and even feel miserable, whereas other living beings are just going about their day minding their business, just living whatever ways they can. Some of them have it kind of rough, because like they gotta go hunting for their food, or they gotta migrate, hibernate for so many months until they can come back. They cannot give themselves the means to adapt to each and every season that the planet goes through. I just don't think that another animal is sitting with another animal right now that's not a member of the human species, and it's like examining how well they perform a job. I wish you were examined more for what your individuality is, what you individually can accomplish, like the rate that you learn, your willingness to learn other things, to challenge yourself, how you overcome your challenges, not just focus on a specific skill that you have to offer. And definitely not letting it be about how well they do at a specific job, how well they do a job to help a company grow and be influential in an economy. Well, you guys, this was really more a rambling video. I wasn't even planning on filming this. It's just something that I just randomly wanted to do since the muse was there and I had something to say. What do you guys think? What did you get from all this? Do you experience moments like this? What are your values in life? I would love to hear those. Alright, you guys, as always, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.